I have a juicy week.
Whoa, let me know. That's nice. That's
There
always
are
nice.
a few things that I want to bring. There was a call from the hospital last week again. I cannot remember the day exactly. I went to the hospital. I did my practice. It was the last full moon actually. And I was feeling that somehow it was coming. I pray all the things that we already discussed. I spent like half an hour there and they called me that there was something wrong with the kidney and they couldn't make it. I also get the feeling like maybe someone is just helping a little bit with all this. They told me that it was not very common, but they found a problem. And it will come eventually, though. It will come soon. It was interesting, but very relaxed. And I think I'm pretty prepared and willing to get this process done. I have the feeling also it's just time to move in the next phase of my life, let's say. One of the things that I'm bringing is not the main one, but it's one of the core ones. I'm back writing at the diary every day, which is something that is helping me also connect with hiding problems. One thing that I realize is that very impatient. I figure it out. I can just write very wonderfully and very organized, and I know that I can do it, but somehow I speed up. And I think that maybe it's connected with this. I'm afraid of dying. I'm afraid of not having enough time or the fear about getting sick or getting in bed again.
This idea could be even due to your characterology, because you have a schizoid body armor, and this is creating this need, this urgent kind of call for action in terms of my perishing. So it's always in the foreground because of the rejection that the schizoid character has received. There's always this need for survival, or there could be an imminent perishing, an imminent death, let's say. So even without your health condition, this would have been an aspect of your character because it exists in your body armor. So there is this kind of urgency about this type of body muscle limitation. There is this kind of urgency, this need for survival, for experiencing more, for not wasting time, for discovering the secret, if there is any. Like this book that was released some time ago, and it was called The Secret. Thinking, shit, if it was a secret, would they have been writing a book about it? It's more or less what we're learning now in spirituality. Like, oh, the secret practice, and everybody knows what the secret practice is. Oops, there's something happening. If everybody knows the secret practice, then it's not so secret.
Not secrets anymore.
Now
That's
it's
why, Michalis, we need a super secret practice now.
exactly that's why the super secret exists. But yeah, it just tells you a little bit about the time we're going through. But in that sense, there is this sensation going always like a subtext that time is precious. I could vanish at any moment, kind of thing.
The paradox about these guys that they need to like build a wall that instead of trying to just focus on putting very nicely every week and eventually you will have a block, you will have a wall. I'm focused on the fucking wall. I want the fucking wall.
Yeah,
And not enjoying it.
it's a good example, actually. The wall example is a very good example. Instead of creating a foundation and a nice structure, you are jumping to see the final result.
Exactly.
And this is exactly how it works. And sometimes there is a lot of frustration building up with this attitude because you're longing for the result. And unfortunately, the result takes time, or it just, it appears after a kind of process. And you don't want to go through the process, or the process is very tedious sometimes. Not to create any misunderstanding, in this type of character armor, we have a lot of action. Like the person is really active in order to make everything, to achieve everything. But because also he's doing too much, is creating a little bit of noise in their own experience. So it's like you're having five different options open all the time. And a lot of energy is being put into all of them. And somehow they don't end up being just perfect. They have a little bit, and then you're jumping, and it's creating a little bit of noise in that sense. It could be even not having a goal sometimes. You might think, oh, this is a good thing because you're doing many things and you're being productive in that sense. Or you're having new experiences, but not necessarily. You could have that running around the house and cleaning neurotically every time and having everything in place so that I can sit down and do my work. And then sitting down to do my work, I'm tired. And now it's, oh my God, I'm tired again. I have all this work to do. And now I'm getting depressed because I cannot do it, for example.
Yeah, for me, it's also about being able to enjoy the process instead of being anxious with the process.
There is no result. There should be no result. It's in the documentary of Namkai Norbu. If you see, there is this Russian guy. I know this guy that has been bothering Norbu for years. And they even caught it on camera. And it's amazing that they caught it on camera. First time I saw the documentary, My Reincarnation, I saw him, and I don't remember his name, but it was a typical Russian name. They go, it's the guy. And this guy would always bother Norbu. And it's finally caught on camera in this documentary. You know? And he goes and he says, I have some problem. And says, yeah. And says, I'm not growing in my meditation. Says, growing? Yeah, like there's no result. I'm not going anywhere. Going? Says, yes, I'm not achieving. There's nothing to achieve. Yeah, but like nothing is happening. Nothing is supposed to happen. Where was like deconstructing everything. The tune book just flew out the window. And this is the idea. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to achieve. There's nothing to do. He proceeds on saying, you are not doing anything. You're not going anywhere. You're just getting in contact with your wisdom. And this is what it's all about. So you're giving a kid something to keep them occupied. And they make a world out of it. They pick up this thing and this thing starts talking. And then there's another little thing that becomes something. And then create a whole world out of it. Looking at it from the outside, you're thinking, how can there be? They're playing with a little stick with a banana peel, for example. They're playing with this and they're creating this whole world. Why? What is happening? And this is what it's supposed to happen. You're just using your inherent talents or your personality to come in contact with your wisdom, and you're creating worlds, you're experiencing worlds. Not necessarily are there. There's no result to be gained or somewhere to go. In the end, we will all go to a dark hole, like the hole we came out from. What is between is the space we call life, the space of light, the space of experience, the space of growth. So going, we will all go in the same place. And looking at it more spiritually in a proper, let's say, theistical way, we will all return to our perfect light in communion with the Creator, with this beautiful joy of realization and return, as is the returning into Pardes, into paradise. But in that sense, the in between is just like the prodigal son. It's called the prodigal in English. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Of the son who goes away and destroys the uh, inheritance of the father and the money, and then he says, "You know what? I want to come back." And the father says, It's what in Jesus' teaching is the return to paradise. It doesn't matter what you do in the process. The point is returning. Well, if you're playing with sticks and creating this world, or really not going, we're staying in a room and washing the dishes, you could be growing in life. The point is, are you realizing all of this? How you are participating in your growth. So in this process, we are called to participate in emerging of our personal life and in the sharing of our personal life. What is happening? We are getting caught up in our little noise and we're saying, oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not achieving. There's not enough money. There's not enough love. There's not enough. And there's always enough. The point is how and why you're experiencing like that. And this is why we're here in that sense. And it's
Uh,
no big secret. We're all up into our neurosis.
I got the insight that I have to just find my own rhythm. Maybe sometimes it's a little faster, whatever I'm doing, but doing it, enjoy it. Try to enjoy it. Like,
Mhm. This is the key word, being able to enjoy it. In Jesus' parable, the guy goes out and enjoys, slanders everything, destroys everything, but he's enjoying himself. Not necessarily with a purpose, also. Like, there is no purpose in what he's doing. And he realizes, oh shit, there's no purpose in all of that. I'm going back to my father. And that's the idea. All we need to do in this process is put more attention into this joy and make it more constructive, a little bit more constructive, a little bit. It
mm,
doesn't need much. The act of discovering is lightning, you know? The gradual path is not so gradual, even they call it a gradual. And it's never gradual. At one moment, you get slapped in the face. Or at some point, you arrive somewhere and you look back and you're alone. You think, oh shit, there used to be people with me. And it's how it happens. The idea is just open up this space of observing, keep enjoying, and at the same time, do a little bit of fine tuning. But it doesn't need much also. This is another thing. I don't know who said it, but you're looking for the answer and the answer is in your pocket. You just have to put your hand in your pocket. You come out with it and say, shit, I walked so many miles and it was with me all the time. That's the idea of true nature or the grace. The grace is everywhere. You cannot escape grace. You cannot escape your true nature. You can try, you can go into darkness, but even that, there is light in darkness. Darkness is actually or negativity in the world created, I believe, at least in my fucked up understanding, is created very consciously. For light to exist, there has to be darkness. For the separation and the creation of the world, there has to be some kind of noise in that sense. Noise is helpful.
mhm.
Not always we should be looking for our adversary in our wrong actions. You look at the negativity, you look at the limitation, you say, here's my learning. Welcome. And then you go into it.
The separation to create union at some point. No?
Yes, exactly. If you don't go away, we'll never know that we were in love, kind of thing. This is the idea.
Something else, my main struggle, I think one of the main insights from the year is that I need to be focused, that I'm always like having a lot of distractions and I'm working on my goals, dreams, whatever you want to call it. I have a pretty clear idea on what is really my preference. It's connected with some they have a hospital or clinic or whatever, but it's connected with trying to just figure it out how to help people that they're like, struggling with mental illness. And that's something really very meaningful and very enjoyable. For me, it's like a puzzle, and I believe that I have to move forward towards that direction. Want to choose to be focused on one thing. But it's very hard. For instance, this last week there was a new artificial intelligence update from a tool that I'm using to create images that is really like crazy, and I'm overwhelmed by the fact that now I can just create whatever it comes to my mind. Somehow I enjoy the process of creating, but I don't want to get it in the middle, get me out of the focus. It's very hard for me to just say no to like little things that I want to do now for this big purpose and have it very focus oriented. I have to making a rejection, but I'm not sure. If I do it properly, it creates me a lot of enjoyment because it's letting me express my creativity and I feel very connected. I get also a little so compulsive and addicted, and I'm like 3 hours and I'm not be able to enjoy it. First stage of a process that they are now giving me a tool that I can just create whatever is coming in my mind in a really crazy, good looking end. So for my creativity, it's like I'm now on, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's just like the feeling it's okay.
Sounds great.
It's
The monthly is the currency.
overwhelming,
The
but
issue is
some,
putting this into a kind of process because it depends. If you are being creative and this is the goal, then it's perfect. If you have just the ability to be creative, then will you be putting it somewhere? Do you have something specific in mind? Going backwards.
I will use it just like a curve for learning, and I will be able to use all this artificial intelligent technology for the project of neurotransmitters, and it's a good thing, and I will be using that. But there's like small things, it's like somehow like with the skateboards, no, that I have now, 300 skateboards, that they are looking good, and I'm gonna sell it. But they're in the fucking middle. They're like now I have to do things to sell it, and it's hard to me to get rid of the noise to get focus. But somehow also the creativity, it's something that I enjoy, and I'm know that I'm good. And now with these tools, it's like everything that I try, it looks like amazing. It's like I'm having a high. I don't have clarity if I just really have to make a rejection and say, look, or maybe it's just a few hours, or maybe it's just in the weekends, or maybe it's just, but even if it's just in the weekends, I'm going to get an idea. Set an example, okay? Very specific example. I have all the analytics when everything is sold in Amazon. So somehow I just check out, for instance, coloring books. And I see coloring books, and the guy that is selling 2,000 euros a month of coloring books, there's something that is really very poor quality. Nothing. Fuck. This guy is just earning this. Yeah, I'm sure I can do much better. And I want to create, let's see if I can just create something for coloring puppies. And I do this freaking amazing. Or like little things, and I just can make it very fast and try it. But then I have to go to put a printer. I need to make the shipment, do little things, and probably I'm not getting much of it. Sometimes I really like to just create the concept, get it done, and then it will be amazing if I have someone that gets in the way and produce it. And I'm pretty sure that we will win that. But still, somehow it will be in the middle because it's just the thing of the
The question is, what is the main goal into all of this? Why are you doing it?
I think they're just expressions of fucking orality.
Why orality?
Because it's just like something out that I imagine that will fulfill me. Working everything. I want to just design books and do graphic design and create a lot of products, and is don't want to choose. And I think it's just on a psychological level, this Peter Pan syndrome. I don't want to commit, and I just want to play. And I think it does a part that there's no problem about that. That's the purpose.
Okay,
That's
that's
my
great.
point. Oh,
It's what we were saying before. That's great. Just play, just play, but just put it into a step further, a little bit more. Don't just play. The thing with all of that, and this is what I was also maybe omitting a little bit before, is in this process, if you can benefit other people, this is very important. So as you're learning, as you're growing, if you can benefit other people, this is the highest form of personal growth, helping others to grow too. In this, if, for example, you're saying, I found a shitty coloring book and I'm thinking I can do it better, and I do it better, produce it too so that you can help some people.
but also it's something that I'm trying on a higher level to connect it with to my neurotransmitters. I know that coloring, it will be helpful for some people for anxiety, like Jan with the mandalas and with the coloring this art and saying, but somehow I believe that I have the feeling that I'm analyzing or like, no, I'm doing this because it's connected with my thing, but I'm trying to
Sure. But, and you will always
somehow I
find something.
think that is a lack of self commitment with the neurotransmitters project to have it really have one thing on my brain and make it. And somehow part of all this is connected with resistance to economic abundance, because I think I already told you this, but my relationships with my father, he was very successful, but he was never there. So I already told you. So I needed him, so he was compensating the love and the attention that needs to have me buying me things. Every Sunday we would go to a toy store and I could buy whatever I want. I think that I'm self boycotting me with a lot of things to not get deep and get this a window opportunity for getting money because I'm not focused, because I'm playing around, but I have the potential to really go deep, have made really useful projects, and I'm like doing bullshit.
How is the money getting blocked? How is the money getting blocked? And why is the money connected with your growing in that sense?
How is connected with my growing the money?
Yeah.
Because it will buy me time to practice more or give me more freedom to go to see spiritual teachers, for instance.
How about money can buy you a lot?
It cannot buy me love.
It used to buy the love of the Father. The love of the Father used to buy your love through that money. The Father used to buy your love with that.
Exactly. So I think now it's just I have a connection. This is something dirty. It's like a horror, something. This thing like is okay. I enjoy it. I was playing with my toys, but on a thing on an unconscious level,
You're not receiving what you really need.
not only that, if you're buying, you're manipulating me. You're like, okay, I'm good. I'm happy that I'm with you. But it's just compensating something. And I think somehow this is getting in the middle of the professional life of the whole thing that we've been discussing for the last minutes.
Just for the record, money is never clean in that sense. There's always some kind of abuse in the process.
Like,
Like I buy it for you, I got it for pain,
how
and you're
can
not
you tell me
buying
this? How can you tell me this? This is not helping me. And
it. All I'm trying to say is, looking into the nature of it, money is never clean. Money always comes with karma. Money always comes with guilt. Money always comes with abuse. Money always comes with some kind of taking us away from what it should be. And in that sense, everything is offered freely. The sun is free and the sun grows you. The trees, if you take the apple, they don't say, "You bastard, where's my €1?" They never would say that. And they just allow and you take, and this is it. I remember this comedian, Louis C.K., and he said he was doing this sketch about vegetarianism, and he was saying the hero is speaking with God, and God is saying, "But why are you killing the cows?" He says, "But I want to eat the hamburger." He says, "But why? I left food all around. Like you just lift your hand and pick up shit. You pick shit from the ground and you just eat it, and that's it. You don't need it." Yeah, but hamburger tastes good. And it's like this. We have created a world where everything has a kind of price and something that needs to be paid and exchanged in some way so that it's fair somehow. And there's always someone who benefits. It's like the follow the money line. If you want to see who is the asshole, just follow the money. See where the money ends up at the end and find the one who benefits. The great Levy used to say. So this is it. It's always dirty. It's always dirty. Let's accept it then as a kind of standard. Money is a bitch. Money is dirty. Money makes you a whore anyway. Was it with you that we're talking about slavery, the Greek word for?
we talked
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, they're buying your time. You are their bitch. It's very clear. You're doing a job, a slavery that nobody wants to do, and they're paying you for it. And this is what we call work in Greek.
Yeah,
Dulia.
but I personally don't have that relationship with money at all. And
No,
I have
no, but I'm just saying,
have the freedom here
I'm just
all
saying,
my
you're
life.
thinking money is dirty. Money is a bitch. Money is the worst thing that can happen in that sense, in the whole process of growth. You put money into the spiritual, for example, world, it's a problem. And you put money into the love relationship, it's a problem. You put a lot of money in the business thing, it's a problem. Everybody wants to benefit. It resonates with this core sense that we have for well-being. It's not kosher. Money is not clean. Accept it to begin with. So let's start with it.
I'm all right. That's it. Said that money is not clear. I think that's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah. And we start from there. So it's a kind of a necessary evil. that everybody has to go with. For example, if I had enough to live on with, I would not care for receiving the money for my teaching, for example. No, because okay, I want to go to Sri Lanka and enjoy under the trees, or I want to be in the Pacific in a nice island or whatever. Take me. And they take me. So I don't need your money. I want a nice cocktail, one of these ones with a fruit inside. And here it is. So why do I need your money? But because I am this type of person that wants the fruit cocktail, you have to pay me. This is it. It's a kind of a shitty aspect in the equation always. So the point is not only making money. Money is energy. It's the means to take you somewhere, in that sense. So it's driving your understanding. The people who keep money also never get to keep it really. Money as energy gets stale, gets bad after left for a long time. It perverts, it destroys the understanding. So the whole idea is moving with money, using it as an energy to explore life. And that's what it's all about. So if I'm doing something and taking all that money and just putting it in the bank and being the same old bastard that I was, nothing will happen. I will just die and the money would be thrown into nothing, into the bank's account. Finally. So what has happened in my life? Nothing. You had all this potential, you threw it away. So the idea is using it to live. Don't consider it as a way of being something. That's one thing. Yeah. So let's try and make it clear in our heads what it's all about with this shit. Then the idea of achieving that we were talking about before. If there's nothing to achieve, achieve happiness, achieve greatness within your journey, and help others. Can you do that with what you're doing? Keep on doing it. Are you happy when you're doing it? Keep on doing it. If you're not happy, change something. It's as simple as that. So my understanding is if your actions are clear and you're following a righteous path, money will come, potential will come. And you just use that potential to keep on walking on that path, the righteous path. And of course, the righteous path is not always the best for you. It's very personal in that sense. But the idea is not what we are grown to believe, that money is the goal or money can give you everything in that sense. No. Money brings you into conditions, it teaches you, but it's in a form of receiving teaching. It's not the teacher. So it doesn't matter if you're jumping in different things. Are you happy? Yes, I'm happy. Good. It doesn't matter if you're leaving projects unfinished. Are you growing? Yes, you're growing. Good. If you consider money to be dirty, it is dirty. Yes, the father was buying his love, your love. Yeah, good. What are you doing today? Are you buying somebody's love with money? Are you trying to be happy just by having money? Is money making you a person? These are the questions that need to be answered. If I'm not who I am today, if I'm not this businessman, I'm nothing.
It's about having a bigger yes. I have a lot of yeses, and that's a bigger yes. And to get that bigger yes, that I think there is more meaningful to me. I feel that it's more connected with my life purpose.
What is the life purpose? Sorry, let's go to the core. What is the life purpose? Your life.
Explore and have fun.
So fuck it. What are we talking about here? So what I left this project unfinished. I used to be a documentarist. I used to do documentaries. When I decided that it was time to quit, I had this box of scripts, ideas, research, tons of paperwork and things like that. You know what I did? I just threw it in the fucking trash. That's what I did. Yeah. So what? I have ideas. I'm creating like seminars every day that we're talking. I'm making this for somebody. And if it doesn't work, who cares? It doesn't matter. It is the process. Unfortunately, it's as older as Homer, they say. That trip is that matters. Who cares if he returns back home to his wife? Then he lives a boring life. Omer did not write about this being back with his Penelope and enjoying life. He wrote about all the hardship after the war. And that's what it was all about. That's what we're interested in finding out, the way of reaching home. So, yeah, the process is that matters. We grow through the process and not necessarily through the result. Killing the bad guy at the end is always good, but even if it doesn't happen, then it's no problem. Helping people is great. Even if it doesn't happen, if you grew and you continue. So refer back to that. Exactly what you said. So why am I doing this? Am I being creative because of that? And is it because of my father? And is it because I'm leaving things in the middle? And why am I leaving things in the middle? Is that right? Am I a bad person?
Make it simpler, no? I'm enjoying it. I'm exploring. I'm having fun.
Exactly. If you are struggling with money or with survival, I would say, fucking wake up, man. Get a job. Get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Do something. You have to survive. You're not in this area of people. And at the same time, you are being productive and you are making money. You're not just eating from ready-made bread. So there's nothing to worry about in that sense. But what about the future? Is there such a thing?
I don't feel like that I'm worried. The only thing is that I believe that I'm doing something important for others, but I also maybe see a self-importance.
I love
About-
this. Yes,
about
of course,
being
it's
able to-
self-important.
Yeah, it's
we are.
about probably
Here we are. So self-importance. This is what it's all about. I was going to break you beforehand when you were saying stuff like that, but I said, okay. So yeah, it's self-importance. It's fucking narcissism. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be the best one and everybody please admire. Yeah. Is this looking good? Is that looking good? Yeah, I'm the best. I know. You know?
It is.
Yeah. So it's fucking narcissism. It's even worse than you imagine. You thought you were oral.
We're in the same
Only
thing.
that
So
is-
what I do about it?
Okay. What do you do about it? There are many things, but let's start with being true. You start from being true. So start from checking your motives every time. It's very important to check and see, why the fuck am I doing this? Or am I true here? Is this true? Or am I just fooling around? And if you're fooling around, consider it as fooling around and act like you're fooling around. Don't make it a big deal out of discovering the world or yourself. It's just fooling around. And be true to others also, letting them know it's fooling around. So in that sense, being true for me is the core. And then deconstructing the idea you have about yourself. I'm this person who does this and that. I'm important. I'm this businessman or lover. Try and deconstruct as many attributes you have given to yourself in the process. We do this through therapy and meditation a lot, but this is the process. This is what happens really.
I was writing here. Part of the whole thing about this creativity is that I get reaffirmation from
Sure.
just people. They see that it's special.
That's the whole thing. If you're doing it for feeling special, then it's a problem. If you're just doing it and enjoying it, that's great.
There's answers there. It's not completely one side of it. I'm enjoying it too.
You see a piece of bread and you're seeing on that bread a little piece of mold. What you're saying? Oh, the bread is fine. No, the bread is molding. So focus. We should need to focus with all of this. When we're discovering a source of incoherency, darkness, neurosis, or whatever, focus. Focus with that one. Don't just allow it to be there. So yeah, but look at all this nice stuff that is also within. Yep, it's there.
If I believe that is the main purpose of the whole thing is reaffirmation, I shouldn't do it.
No, don't do it. Or try to clean it. Try to clean it as much as possible. Focus into cleaning it as much as possible.
Yeah, how do I clean it?
So this is the way. If I'm doing it for that person, then no. For example, I create it and I give the management to another person to receive the glory, for example, or I allow myself to be in the background, not necessarily be forward. I do not need to be the person that shows.
Gets the credit, no?
Yeah, not necessarily. If you were, for example, a masochist or an oral, I would say, yeah, man, step up, say you did it. It's good for you. But not in this case, not necessarily. You have a lot of power and strength, and you don't need to exercise it and show it off all the time. So that's the idea. Powerful people do not need to show their power. They're just powerful. So here we are. What are you?
It's good because I have this inner feeling of the child of, but I want to get loved. Fuck you. Yeah.
I understand totally. And yeah, I don't care at the same time. You need to grow. You need to live it and grow. Like my dog, at some point, he grabs onto a thing and he's holding it like on dear life. And I'm looking at him and I'm saying, this is fucking mine. I will win at the end. So let go. And that's it. At the end, if he doesn't let go, is so what about it now? Like he's looking at me like, shit. Yeah, shit. Let's grow and fucking let all the sentimental stuff aside regarding our attachment to our neurosis. But I like being the bad guy, but I like being sad, but I like being powerful and I like being loved. And yeah, everybody has a reason for their darkness.
The last thing that I want to mention that like writing about my goals is at some point, like I was writing like personal goals and priorities, wealth priorities and all this or whatever. And in some point, I realized that I didn't include relations. Then afterwards, it was completely the other way around. Man, it's something that I know on a rational level that without relationships, they're fundamental for my peace, for my happiness. But I've been writing a lot of stuff. And then at some point, I felt, fuck, where aren't the, yeah, or like having a girlfriend and growing with the hair or whatever. That was the female part of growing up. But the relationships,
Let's please see it next time. Bring it next time because it's a big issue. Because it's a big issue. It's about relating more than relationships in your case.
about not being able to contact. If I really stop one thing like you, what is the one thing that it will make you feel wonderful? Is getting out of myself and connect with connection.
That's one of the core things with your characterology. Yeah, inability to make true connections. True, deep true, fully into that.
I know I'm not, we're not probably discovering something, but it was meaningful for me. I have a huge, a lot of things. And I felt, what the fuck?
Where are the people?
Where are the people?
Exactly. Very good. Okay. So
Next time.
keep it for next time. It's a good place to start. But yeah, also keep the idea that you're not oral too. Not in that sense, anyway. We are all oral.
More like that, like narcissistic,
More
special.
of a power narcissistic thing. That's happening, I think.
Thank you.
Enjoy your week. Yeah, have fun.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Ciao,
Bye.
ciao. It was a good one.